Hi everyone, this is Werewolf and today I'll be showing you a noob guide to Valla in this Heroes of the Storm game. Now, the Noob Guide 2 series is just a short mini-series which focuses on heroes which are 2000 to 4000 gold in cost and focusing really on newer players who want to learn the game and really see how they can be effective with these kinds of heroes. So, we'll be picking up Valla today, and we picked up Lily in a previous game. Now for Valla we'll be going for a multi-shot build. You can go various kinds of builds with Valla, but the multi-shot build is quite easy to learn and can be very efficient. Now there is a different kind of build which focuses on auto attacks, and it's very strong. It's actually stronger on a single target, but for these purposes, since we are learning this to people that are just starting out with the game and want to maybe have less of an impact with positioning and might be less bothered with other stuff, the multi-shot build is very good. So on this level we're picking up composite arrows, and the other items just really aren't that great. Now as you can see, Valla attacks really fast, and she can also just show stealth heroes with the multi-shot. So as you can see there, we have Zeratul on the other team, and this Zeratul, if you can see the shimmer around, there you can see him again, and then as you can see, you can just focus him with the multi-shot. Now the first Q ability is a hungering arrow. It shoots out an arrow and it auto focuses targets. Now there you see Zeratul again, so let's show him. And he tries to throw out a little orb. You can just try to dodge it, and the Q ability just shoots down an arrow and it will hit the first targets that it finds. Now when it finds this target, it will try to hit him a couple of times unless there are other targets nearby, and it doesn't really focus on one target. So while it's a decent damage, you can't really focus it that well, and the damage... Oh, there is Zeratul again. Let's make sure he's focused. And you kinda wanna avoid it too much because it has a very long cooldown. Now the multi-shot, as you can see, it has an 8-second cooldown, and with the level 1 talent, which increases its range by 20%, it's actually very long. Now we can now use our vault to actively kill some people, which is good, because normally you don't want to do this. This went very well. We got triple kills here, and maybe we need to help our Rhaegar a little bit. I think we do, so that's where I'm going right now. Always keep a little bit of an eye out on the minimap to make sure that you can help your heroes whenever necessary. Now he got this, I'm pretty sure, and we can maybe even... Oh, just barely. But as you can see, it's very long. So since this build focuses on multi-shot, you actually want to have let's help our heroes here first. And as you can see, you can just throw out that multi-shot all the time, but you shouldn't stop to auto attack. Now as you can see, the hungering arrow is stopped by little minions, so even though you might be able to hit a hero if you're lucky, if you are not lucky, and there you go down, because Valla, as you can see, is a very squishy hero. She's one of the squishiest heroes in the game, and because of that you really need to take care of positioning, which is something that lacked there a little bit. So to ensure that you can do this correctly, you have the multi-shot, which enables you to take a lot of distance, and that's why we also upgraded with Arsenal. Now the other perk you can take here is, well, maybe Manticore if you're going for an auto attack build, but for any others it is just a little less good. Now let's see if we can get into the fight here. We kind of want to make sure that we don't use our vault here to get closer, because if you use your vault, you have wasted your ability to get close or to run away. And you do want to run away, because as I said before, Valla is very squishy. So if she needs to run away, that's where your vault is for. So if you decide to chase with your vault, you can be in very big danger. Now, as before, we just looked at the minimap, and there we have our hero. He's in a little bit of trouble, and now we know he just wasted his chase, so he can't blink to us, and that's why we were safe to just vault to him. And the other arrows were all still pretty much down there. So we were kind of safe. Wow, that's a bit unlucky. So make sure you just spam all your abilities on such a hero, because you can do tremendous damage. Now maybe we can hit Zeratul a little bit here. Just make sure you show him with that W, and as you can see here, you can just try to chase him and poke him out a little bit. Now for level 7 you do want to take Searing Attacks. Even though this is a multi-shot build, Searing Attacks is really strong. It makes sure that all your basic attacks do additional 50% damage for 5 seconds. Now even this is just really strong, and we don't want to get too close here because that's just dangerous. If he walked around there, he would have walked into the queue, and if he didn't, then that was fine too. So you want to take Searing Attacks because all the other things are basically garbage. The refresh on the Hungering Arrow is not something that you need a lot, since you'd want to run away with your vault. So if you use this to engage, then you might have a problem. The Caltrops also semi-okay. So let's pop our Searing Attacks here, and as you can see, you just burst down someone incredibly quickly. And we don't want to use our vault here, because if there was anyone there, we would have been dead instantly. So the safest thing here was to back off, get a bit of a heal, and now we can actually get Rainer again. And we did kill him. Now Zeratul was cloaked by, which is unfortunate. It can happen, but it's not the end of the world, especially in the early game when the timers that you need, then when your death timers are still pretty well low. So right now we have a multi-shot build which focuses on damage, but starting level 13 it will also have frost shot. Now that's really good because you can use it in multiple ways, but we'll get to that eventually. Unfortunately, as you saw there, he engaged in the middle of 3 enemies. Now don't forget, this is Heroes of the Storm and you can't really do that, not even with tanks. As you can see, Valla is also pretty good at clearing minion waves, and these minion waves, as you all know, give XP.
We should take this mercenary
and let's see if we can help our little buddy up top. I think we do need to help him, even though our bottom is getting pushed. He is not very... Rhaegar does not necessarily have the power to burst that down very fast. And we did see Zeratul there just now, so let's just not engage it. And let's ping for help, since we don't want this fort to get down. That's the main buffer between this base. So our trait actually gives attack speed and movement speed based on the amounts of attacks that we've done. Now we do want to try to run away here. And now we pop our Searing Attacks because this does a tremendous amount of damage. Unfortunately, the Zeratul was still close by again, and that's just painful. A Zeratul, as well as a Nova, can be really good against the Valla. Because, as you saw before, Valla is just so squishy. And there you see that Zeratul shimmer again. And basically our guy here is all the way out of position together with the rest of the team, which makes pretty much sure that he gets picked off. Now let's ping him for warning. Let's hope he runs away, and he does, so that's good. Not far enough though. And for this level we're picking up Strafe. Strafe and Rain of Vengeance are both decent, and as you can see, you see Strafe in action right here. And it does a lot of damage, so much in fact that someone like her is definitely down. Now he is still getting picked off, and we are perhaps able to show him. Now, there we were able, and oh, so close. So we can still chase him. He does have a shimmer, and there he is. So just keep an eye out for that shimmer. If you see any cloaked heroes and you know where they are, and you know where they are likely to go, then you are in a good position, because all invisible heroes are very squishy. But of course, never forget that as Valla you are very squishy as well. That's unfortunate. So here we'll be just poking a little bit. You don't have to do too much. And we have a healer in Rhaegar on our team, so that's also a reason why you would not necessarily want the health regeneration perks. Now let's just poke a little bit, poke and prod, make sure that perhaps we can hurt the Garden Terror, and just pop our trait here because we're going to die anyway. So it's on a 60-second cooldown, it's really short. So if you are going to die or any team fight at all, just use it because you can probably just use it again. Now, the vault, as I mentioned before, you can use it offensively, you can use it defensively, and that's basically it. Because as Valla, you don't really want to body block people since you are with so little HP. The Multishot fires 3 grenades, as you can see right here, and those 3 grenades go in an arc. So here you see it, each one of those 3 go in on the sides and then one in the middle. And that is it. Now we don't want to get too close here because they are able to just burst us down if we are anywhere close near that. So there's not very much more to do than defend this garden there, which is what we will be doing right now. And as you can see, as long as you can maybe push him away long enough for the garden terror to just expire, then that's fine too. When you see these plant pots, make sure you burst them down, since they do tremendous damage to everything. And when the garden terror ends, well, let's pop our ultimate right here, because as I spoke before, you can just almost always pop it. Make sure we run away from our Zeratul guy here. Now he does have the auto attack, so we had no choice but burst him down. Now Zeratul has an auto attack, I can show it to you right here. Here, Shadow Assault, there it is, and it just makes sure that he sticks to you. Now it's not a very good ability, and he is always very likely to die, but if he does use it, especially on someone who's squishy, you are also quite likely to die. So on this level, and if we had this earlier we might have gotten a little bit further away, we will pick up Frost Shot. Now Giant Killer can be alright if there are many tanks, but this isn't the case for example here. And Frost Shot is just basically better because it can help you peel enemy heroes, it can help you run away from them, and it can help you engage them. So if anyone is chasing you, you can just make sure to hit him often. Let's pop our ultimate here again because it does so much damage. And I'll explain a little bit about how the damage works there in a moment. See, just pop the Frost Shot and then he has no place to go. Just hit him a little bit, but make sure that you stay out of range of his renewed warp, because you don't want to get caught up in that. And just play safe from this point on, because you don't have that much HP. If you get caught, then you are dead. So thanks for the heal there. And we see that our top is getting assaulted, so we better defend it. Now the Multishot, as I mentioned before, it can easily hurt a lot of these minion waves, as you can see here, so let's just pick them off. Those archers do the most damage, so if you are able to pick them off fairly easily, you should do so. Now we don't exactly know where the enemy team is, but we know they just took this camp, so they might as well be going for that camp. Now it's never a smart idea to go in alone, our buddies are at the base, so let's just defend these camps, make sure we kill them, and then there is no problem. And as you see there, they just took that camp. Now the arrow from her silences, and just pop the ultimate again, make sure you do a lot of damage to everything around you. Now the ultimate strafe, it says it does a number of damage. Here it says 116, and that number, it does that every attack, but there are 3 attacks each second, so it actually does it really quickly with huge amounts of damage. As you can see, there are 4 seconds, so that means that there are 12 attacks in total, each doing 123 damage now on all enemies within your range. So the more enemies there are, the more DPS you do, but also it just does a lot of damage on even a single target. Now we slowed him down there, so that means that we can just engage him a little bit, throw us very little escape, so he's pretty much gone. And we are able to just take this one. Now our friend here can easily tank it. Never tank these kind of things yourself, because as mentioned before, you are very squishy. And it's just a problem. So on this level, on level 16, you might want to be going for something like Tumble, because it has a lot of potential for you to run away. But don't take this. While it's decent, I mean, you can run away more or you can engage more. Blood for Blood basically does the same thing whenever there's one enemy hero. It makes you steal 15% of their health and 30% of their movement speed, which means, oh well, they slow down for 30% of their movement speed, which means that they won't be able to chase you that good, and you can actually do a lot of damage with it. So on this level, take for Blood for Blood. Executioner is very situational and might not be that good, and Stone Skin, well, it's 30. Let's hope we save our body here. And Stone Skin is alright, but you have very little HP, and 30% of very little is still very little. So on that note, don't take it. Just take Blood for Blood, and as you can see, well, we didn't use it there, but it usually picks off so much HP. Let's use it on Rainer here, then he can't run away. It gives you a lot of survivability. Oh, I thought they would have got him in there. And that's just what you need in a tricky situation that allows you to run away, because Valla just thrives on poking and prodding and keeping away. So the main thing about Valla, and I will mention it again since it's that important, is just dealing damage with the wide area of effect shot, maybe poke in a little with a couple of other shots, Hungering Arrow, and then tumble away if she's in any danger, but don't straight up engage. Like here, you can go to the left and maybe get to the enemy quicker, but don't. You can maybe engage here in the middle when you're all alone and you're very squishy, so don't. Just stick with some teammates that are able to, well, basically scout for you and soak up some damage. Let's use our strafe ability here again, because it's very strong. And it's good to note that the strafe ability can be interrupted, so if anyone displaces you, let's think that he needs to run away, it's no sense engaging it, because then you just both die and that's it. So if your strafe ability gets interrupted by a knockback or a movement ability, like a grenade or a stun, then it stops. So for our level 20 ability here, we'll be picking up Nexus Frenzy. Now Vengeance is very strong, don't get me wrong, and it's often a good ability. Let's make sure we can kill the Thrall here, since he's very, very good. It's strong, but it actually just makes you hit harder with the ability, and that, while that's very good, it's not the best. So Nexus Frenzy actually makes you attack from a safer distance and quicker. So that's very good. And if you see that you die a lot in a game, you can always pick up Bolt of the Storm. So these two are your real options. And for this game we'll be picking up Nexus Frenzy, because even though we've been dying a little bit, we do want to, let's activate Strafe here, because it hurts so much. As you can see, Rainer's HP just melts. Now he can't run away that quickly because he's slowed by our Frost Shot from the Multishot. And now suddenly we are in a leading position again. So even though that guy, we can just Blood for Blood him. See, now he's even slower. Make sure you pick up the weak targets, because you do a lot of damage. And here, just tumble away. Make sure he's slowed down with the Frost Shot, but just auto-attack him if it's safe. And then run away if it's no longer a feasible option. Now we don't have any mana. Let's hope he runs away there, because we're all dead, and that's just not a good idea. Because Murden can try, and well, Thrall is just really strong 1v1 if built correctly, so there's no real way he can win that. So this is also a good build, because if you don't really know what heroes still do, you can still keep a safe distance and tumble away. Just hit things with your Multishot, which is always strong. And just still be safe while still dealing damage. And as you can see, the range on that Multishot is insane. It will almost always hurt. You can actually stand on your base and it will still hurt. It's crazy. So let's see if we can save our Rainer her. I think so. Let's pop our ultimate because it, well, hurts like crazy. And even though we were no longer hurting the Rainer, it was still good because it zoned him away. Let's save our multi-shot for whenever we see the Zeratul. There he is. Unfortunately, we just missed him. Now, as a Valla, we didn't have to use it a lot this game, but you actually also have to scoot and shoot. So you go forward, go back, and maybe use the A button to auto it. Now there we see him again, and maybe we can demonstrate it a little bit. If you see an arrow, there he is. And then you just scoot and fire and use your A, or you can click on the target if you actually want it to damage him, and then you can stay on a safe distance while still attacking really fast. So thank you all for watching. This was the noob guide to Valla. If you like what you saw, subscribe, and other noob guides will be coming up.